part 2 of History of Me, so let's try this again. So when we left off in that last video, we were talking about the photos or the visuals. So you did have one for each phase if you're doing anything other than an essay. If you're doing an essay, you can just give me one. Okay. But in addition, you can have these questions at the end, answer all of these questions in one spot, or you can integrate them into your story. Just make sure that it's clear to me who impacts you. So like if it's in a PowerPoint, like highlight it and like put an arrow to it or something, just so it's clear to me as I'm grading it that that's the question you're answering. Otherwise, you can just put it at the end, whatever works for you. So the first one is like who inspires you or has had a great impact on your life. For some of you, that's going to be somebody who you're really close to. So your grandparents or your parents or your brother, or your sister, or your best friend, and tell me why. How have they impacted your life? And then the next one's a favorite historical figure and why. You don't have to have a favorite, but look somebody up that you think is cool. I have a bunch because I know too much. And so I have a bunch of people that I think are just absolutely awesome and like just so impressive in the spectrum of human history. The next piece is what were your interests in junior high school? Some of you have different interests now than you did in middle school. Some of you are the same. Some of you have made major transitions between middle school and now. I had very different interests in middle school than I did in high school. And so tell me kind of what you're into then and now. And then lastly, it's very hard to see. I keep telling myself I'm going to edit this, but the last question is how are you going to make history? So this is not, it doesn't have to be a big thing. Like in the spectrum of the world, it's going to be a huge thing for you. But like, what is your goal for your life? How are you going to make a difference in this world? For some people, that's going to be being a good mom or being a good citizen or, being good at their job. And how is their job going to change the world? Some people are going to want to become president and solve world hunger. All of that is awesome. It doesn't matter. Okay. This assignment is graded by the quality of your work. Sorry, this is a little bit hard to see on this video. But this kind of breaks down how I'm going to be scoring, okay? Like, I'm a very simple grader. There's no tricks. You either do it or you don't. So did you answer the questions? Didn't you answer the questions? Did you give me the visuals or you did not? Who inspires you? So for each question. And then there's a few points, very easy. 7 points out of 50. So that means 14% of the grade comes from these two things. One, being organized, making it look like you put some effort into it. And then second, turning it in on Google Classroom. This usually is the first assignment that we ever turn in on Google Classroom, but distance learning, it's not. But I'm giving you 4 points just for turning it in the right spot. So make sure that you do. Don't try to email it to me. Don't turn it in on Teams. Don't send it to me through Remind. Turn it in on Google Classroom. It is your responsibility to figure out how to do that. If you have any additional questions about how to complete this assignment, please reach out to me either through Teams or Remind. Both of them kind of come through my phone as a text message. So just let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is your story. Do right by yourself and tell the story well.